Welcome once again, students, to our class of BA Part 1 English Literature. In our last class, we had completed the first page of the essay Fearlessness by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and we understood that how Gandhiji in this chapter has tried to enumerate the different godly qualities and from his study of Bhagavad Gita, and taking clue from Gita, he talks about the quality which tops the rank of all the qualities enumerated in the Gita, and fearlessness tops that list. And we studied that how from the different sources of external fear in our life, which are about fear of disease, injury and death, loss of property, or losing one's nearest and dearest ones. And towards the end of this page, Gandhiji talks about that how some people who are misers, who are not very easy with spending their money, will put up with all kinds of loss, will part even with their lives, but they would not be able to give away their property. And others will do any number of black deeds. Here, black deeds refers to all the negative actions which one takes, illegal actions which one takes in order to uphold their supposed prestige. So many people now in the current situation, we can easily see this, that how people who are in power, they may do any kind of illegal deeds because they want to continue to have the image they hold in society. Some will swerve from their straight and narrow path, which lies clear from before them, simply because they are afraid of incurring the world's odium. And some people are those who will, if they are given some kind of bribe, they will move away from the straight path, the narrow path, which lies before them, because they are afraid of getting the hatred of the world. The seeker after truth must conquer all these fears. So here Mahatma Gandhi is saying that the journey towards truth lies in overcoming all these fears. He should be ready to sacrifice his all in the quest of truth, even as Harish Chandra did. The story of Harish Chandra may be only a parable. Parable here means a story, a fable, not a true story, but every seeker will bear witness to its truth from his personal experience, and therefore that story is more precious than any historical fact. So the example he gives is of the king Harish Chandra, who followed the path of truthfulness even though he had to face problems because of that, but he held on to his truthfulness. So according to Gandhiji, perfect fearlessness can be attained only by a person, by him who has realized the supreme, as it implies freedom from delusions. So here Gandhiji also brings in the concept of the supreme power, God, and if one believes in God, one would never move away from the right path, and he would be free from all delusions. One can always progress towards this goal of attaining the path of truthfulness by determined and constant endeavor and by cultivating self-confidence. So in order to, here in this essay, Gandhiji, while talking about the development of the quality of fearlessness, also is giving examples of, or it's a guide for every young person that how we need to cultivate self-confidence, so that we are able to focus our attention on the godly qualities and not be misled by negative actions in the world. As I have stated at the very outset, we must give up all external fears. Here he talks about the external fears which he is talking about, but the internal foes. Foes here means enemies. We must always fear. We are rightly afraid of animal passion, anger, and the like. External fears cease. Cease means stop of their own accord, on their own, when once we have conquered these traitors. Who are the traitors? The disloyal elements. So here it is the personification that the negativities which are within our own self, they act as the disloyal friends within the camp. So he is giving an example of, this is a metaphor of an army camp, that sometimes it is the our own people in our own army who will act as traitors, will be disloyal to us and be on the side of enemy while they are in our own camp. So this is a metaphor used by Gandhiji. All fears revolve around the body as the center and would therefore disappear as soon as one got rid of attachment for the body. So here again Gandhiji brings in the concept of spirituality as it is in Hinduism, that everything revolves around the body. And so if we are not attached to the worldly elements connected with our body, we would be able to easily overcome all fear. We thus find that all fear is the baseless fabric of our own vision. Fear has no place in our hearts when we have shaken off the attachment for wealth, for family, and for the body. So here Gandhiji is talking about renunciation or leaving, shedding off all the attachment to our worldly possessions, wealth. We should all consider it as if they are given by God. So he says further on that enjoy the things of the earth by renouncing them is a noble precept. Wealth, family and body will be there just the same. We have only to change our attitude towards them. So it is our attitude towards life, towards how we look at things happening in our life. If that is corrected, if we are able to follow a life which is based on godly qualities and of detachment from our possessions, we will never fear anything. All these are not ours. Everything which we have in this world is actually not ours according to Hinduism and spiritualism, but God's is. Everything has been given to us by God. Nothing whatever in this world is ours. Even we ourselves are His. Why then should we entertain any fear? So when nothing is ours, then why should we fear losing anything? So there is no fear. Fear emerges according to Gandhiji in this chapter from the feeling of attachment to other things. Then he again talks out of another epic, the Upanishads, which directs us to give up attachment for things while we enjoy them. So whatever is there in your life, we can use them without being attached to them, and when we are not attached, we do not have any fear. That is to say, we must be interested in them not as proprietors, but as only trustees. Proprietors, owners. So all the things which we have, even our relatives, they are by virtue of our being the product or the God's own gifts. So we just have to own them and enjoy them, but don't think that we are the owners of them. We are just the trustees. God has given us the role to act as the trustee of the possessions which we have. He on whose behalf, he here refers to God, he on whose behalf we hold them will give us the strength and the weapons requisite for defending them against all usurpers. So here Gandhiji says that here the weapons and the strength, they are not any external weapons, but they are the qualities in our own personality. If we believe in God and if we believe that God has given us everything, then He will give us the strength and the qualities required for defending us against all the illegitimate people who try to take things illegally. When we thus cease to be masters and reduce ourselves to the rank of servants, humbler than the very dust under our feet, all fears will roll away like mists. So here again similes are used, and we shall attain ineffable. Ineffable means incapable of being expressed in words, something which is beyond expression. So we will receive that peace when we maintain this kind of an attitude towards the things which we own in life, and see Satya Narayan, the God of truth, face to face. So here Gandhiji talks about that all fears will vanish, and when we think ourselves to be just the humble, modest servants of God, which are as insignificant as dust which is under our feet, and when there is no arrogance left in us that we are masters of so much of property or wealth or fame, then we are like humble servants of God, and we can also see God if we are able to appreciate and have gratitude for God has given to us. So in this chapter, it is a wonderful chapter which we need to study from Gandhiji, and he refers to the various religious epics, Gita, Upanishads, which is in Sanskrit literature a name given to a class of philosophical understandings. So do read this chapter once again as I keep telling you, by underlining the important facts, and after that you will be able to clearly understand the chapter.